Will the San Francisco 49ers find themselves in a pickle when it comes to their wide receivers? That's right, 49ers wide receiver Jauan Jennings has requested a trade if the team and his agent cannot work out a contract extension going into the upcoming season. What will the 49ers do? Should they pay Jauan Jennings or should they trade Jauan Jennings? Stick around, smash that like button, strap in, strap up, pause. Right here on the Wayne Breezy Show. Let's get it poppin', baby. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wayne Breezy Show, baby. That's right. We alive. We kicking. We're happy. We're excited. It's a great week for San Francisco 49ers because the rookies report to training camp, on this week. I believe July 15th. So on tomorrow, the rookies report. But if you woke up to some news out there, we are going to break it down and have a little discussion about the San Francisco 49ers and the news that was dropped bomb-wise by Adam Schefter from the NFL. So we'll talk about that, Jauan Jennings and his contract extension. I can't wait to hear how your weekend has been. Shout out to all the members of the Breezy Bunch crew. You get the air horns one time. And before I do my members shout out, man, don't forget, man, all right, welcome to the show. Like this joint, man. Hit the like button. We're here every Monday. That one thing I've been consistent on is being here just about every Monday in the offseason. You know the shows are going to ramp up as the season starts to pick up, but smash that like button, all right? Feel free to subscribe. If this is your first time watching the show, click on the subscribe button. Put your alerts to all, so that way you don't miss any of the content here. And don't forget, man, leave some comments if you're not watching the live show in the comment section, all right? Don't forget to leave the comments in the comment section. Shout out to everybody that is listening on the podcast as well. We got Apple Podcasts. We got Spotify Podcasts. Appreciate the interactions over there on Spotify. Air horns for you as well. And, all right, the exclusive content will be getting ready, to be uploaded to the Patreon. So make sure you go to patreon.com/the Wayne Breezy so you can check out exclusive 49ers content where only you can get it. Now, you know, during the season, we do the film breakdowns and things like that. So that will be back. So if you took a hiatus, you took a pause, cool beans, but get ready because we will be back doing film breakdowns as well. And they're going to get better. I've been working with people and understanding things and things like that. So I'm excited to bring this season's film breakdowns, the quarterback throws, all that type of stuff. So make sure you guys check that out exclusively on the Patreon. All right, patreon.com. And also, last but not least, shout out to our partners over at Residency. Use the promo code SFBreezy and you'll save on your total purchase. Go to www.residency.com. Now, they have all kinds of sales. And I know if you're looking to get some 49ers kind of, gear, the stuff that your players wear, you can go to residency.com. You use my promo code, you'll save $5 on your total purchase, all right? You'll save that money on your total purchase. So if you want some of the hats that you see your favorite players wearing, or even me right here live on the shows or in any of my content, make sure you go to www.residency.com. Use the promo code SFBreezy and you can save on your total purchase. Let's do member shout outs. Let's get it pumping, man. Let's get it pumping. Peachy in the building. Good morning, Breezy and everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Hashtag BB, hashtag faithful to the Bay. That's right, faithful to the Bay. Always 49ers throwback in the building saying good mornings and to smash the like button for sure. Boats in the building. What's going on, Boats? Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you guys have been having a great summer. Matthew is in the building. Hope you all have a blessed Monday. Yes, man. You know what? I look at the word blessed. Is it blessed or is it blessed? I've never understood what is the correct, pronunciation of the word blessed. We say blessed. I guess it depends on where you're born and things like that. But is it blessed? Is it blessed? Let me know. I'm just, just curious. I saw the word. I just wanted to know if it had a different, pronunciation to it. So let me know what you guys think out there as well. And all the other members, man, I'm looking for the members. I'm scrolling through. I see my bro Fred, the God in the building. What's going on, baby? Click, click, boo. I see you, baby. What's good? Felicia's in the building saying good morning to everyone. All right, Tanisha's in the building as well. Good morning, Breezy and the Breezy Bunch. My sis, Christy Marie in the building. What's going on? Good to hear from you always. Ronnie33 all the way from, yeah, I'm here. Yes, you are here. Canada. Oh, Canada. I like the national anthem better than our national anthem. Just had to put that out there. And all the other members of the Breezy Bunch crew, if I see you, I'll definitely shout you out on the show. And to all the members of the channel, again, man, I appreciate you. I see a lot of people in the building. Look, this news broke out today from Adam Schefter, so let's get to it. And I want to get your thoughts on it. No, I'm curious to know. Like, I thought that the San Francisco 49ers were going to kind of like escape some of the contract drama. And I told everybody that this potentially, will the 49ers need to extend Jauan Jennings or, whatever, where they're going to bring him back, where they're going to, and I said that this can potentially happen. But nah, everybody was like, not Jauan Jennings, not the beloved Jauan Jennings, not Jauan Jennings, man. Y'all can all that, man. Look, these players want to get paid. And we're going to talk about his worth. We're going to talk about everything. Like, he wants to get paid. And there's nothing wrong with that. This dude's been in the league for several years, and he worked his way all the way up through, the chain, and played on a cheap deal, went from drafted in the 7th round all the way to being cut and released, brought back to the practice squad, worked his way from the practice squad, became a restricted free agent for the San Francisco 49ers, exclusive one at that, and then got a 2-year deal, which is what he's playing on currently. And I know the statement is play out your contract. I got you. Play out the contract for sure. Totally get it. But we're talking about these players, man. They feel, I think several players feel, once they outplay their contract, it's time to talk. It's time to talk. And Brock Purdy got his extension before his contract expired, and now Jauan Jennings is up here looking for his extension too. And the question is, will the 49ers extend them? Should they extend them? I'm going to get your thoughts in the chat. Members go first, so put y'all stuff in the chat. Wide receiver Jauan Jennings, he's set to make about $7.5 million this season in the final year of his contract, is seeking a new contract, either a new contract or a trade. So he has put into his agent that he is requesting a trade. Now, we've seen this before several times, at least 2 times. Deebo Samuel, and we've seen it from Brandon Ayuk. Now, the 49ers made sure they took care of Deebo Samuel during his tenure here. He has been traded, and he is with the Washington Commanders. And now they pay Brandon Ayuk, even though he requested a trade during his contract negotiations, and he's currently on the IR. Hopefully he's going to start the season on the PUP and probably be back week 5, right? Do the 4 weeks on the PUP, come back week 5 and be ready to ball out. Now, I guess the ultimate question is, are the 49ers going to pay another wide receiver? And what is going to be the worth of a receiver of Jauan Jennings' status? Now, he was the leading receiver for the San Francisco 49ers last season. So let's go ahead and take a look at his stats. Let's look at what he did last year. Almost 1,000 yards for Jauan Jennings. Very close to 1,000 yards. We know he got ejected in that last game of the season. That junk was crazy, right? Got ejected in the last game of the season. Almost 1,000 yards. You can see finished with 975 yards on the season. 25 yards. Sure, he averaged 12.7 yards per reception. He had 6 TDs. On the season. You can see he was targeted 111 times. I think he was the most targeted on the team too. I think he had the most targets as a pass catcher on the team. He had 77 receptions, almost a 70% reception percentage. We got to look at the drops because we know drops are a big thing. Only 4 drops credited to him on the season. I think what stands out to me, what I like about him is his catch percentage in traffic, 62.5% of him catching passes in traffic. You don't see him as a big yak guy, but 3.1 yards per reception on the yak. So 239 of his 975 yards were after the catch, if you don't know what yak means, okay? Now, this is his worth, and we've only been seeing him progress year after year after year. Now, the question is going to come down to, what do the 49ers feel he's worth? Because I think where Jauan Jennings is coming from, he feels he is the 49ers leading wide receiver. He's their number one wide receiver. What makes this interesting is the 49ers have a player called George Kittle, and George Kittle is probably the best receiving player on the San Francisco 49ers, and the Niners already took care of George Kittle. So, I feel like Jauan Jennings, though, is trying to make his statement that he is your best option at the wide receiver. He's a big guy. You can line him up. You can put him in the slot. He's 6'3", 6'4", and you can line him up in the slot. He's proven he can play outside as an X. Doesn't possess that 40 speed, but definitely has the catch radius and things like that. The jump ball, like just the 50-50 ball, like those are in his bag. He's built with a different set of unique skills, right? So those are in his bag. So, I mean, look, 6 touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards, would have had 1,000 yards had he not got ejected. Is this dude going to be worth a new contract from the San Francisco 49ers? Will they give him a contract? Now, let's get your thoughts on this, and we'll dig a little bit more into Jauan Jennings, because the question is going to come down to, I don't think the 49ers have a problem paying him. I think the question is going to come down to, you know what I'm saying, how much, right? I think that's what it is. My man Ferris says, hypothetically speaking, if JJ is traded, who's the number one wide receiver and number 2 wide receiver? With BA still injured? And that's what makes this kind of tricky, because now the Niners are saying they're putting their eggs in the basket of the players that they drafted. So now we got to go to Ricky Pearsall. We get more Jacob Cowing. Is the rookie Jordan Watkins going to get some burn? And we know how Kyle is with his rookie receivers, but Cowing, Pearsall, they aren't rookies anymore. Hey, I don't know. I don't know how this would pan out. Personally, I would like to see Ricky line up on the outside. I would like to see Jacob Cowing play a little bit as the Z, the guy that moves around, the shifty motion type of wide receiver. I would love to see that. I want to put Jauan Jennings back in the slot, but who knows? But if Jennings isn't here, if they trade him or if he holds out, we'll see what happens. Now, there has been some news from Matt Barrows that he does not plan. Well, excuse me. Let me make sure I say this correct. He does plan to be on hand. Okay, he does plan to be on hand once training camp kicks off. So the veterans report next week. All right, so I do want to put this out here that Matt Barrows has reported, 49ers beat writer insider has reported, Jennings is expected to be on hand when the veterans report for training camp next Tuesday, so a week from tomorrow. But however, this is what he also stated. As the Brandon Ayuk saga showed last year, that does not or doesn't necessarily mean the situation will be smooth and tidy. I got to remind everybody that, the wide receiving position for the San Francisco 49ers is not, in my opinion, is weird. It's not necessarily a coveted position unless you have these like multiple capabilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, what made Debo paid was the simple fact that, hey, Kyle said he can use him as a running back. So where's the versatility? What made Brandon Ayuk get paid was that the Niners necessarily didn't have another wide receiver that can run routes as smooth. So they were paying for that smooth route running, type of wide receiver. And don't forget, Brandon Ayuk had a nice catch radius. He had good ball tracking skills. These are a lot of things Brandon Ayuk had pre-injury. And so I think that was the reason why they went out on the limb. And they knew that they were potentially going to be moving on from Deebo Samuel. So this is going to get interesting because do the 49ers feel they have those guys already ready to step up if Jauan Jennings is no longer a San Francisco 49er? So that, like, these are the ultimate questions, right? Like these are the ultimate questions that, you're asking. And then, for the Niners, like where do, some of the comments out there, we have no receivers, shaking my head. It's crazy, right, Paul? Because when you think about it, it's like we don't have any receivers that we've seen, do it yet. We saw glimpses from some of the guys. We saw glimpses from Ricky Pearsall. He finished last year with 3 TDs. The year before, I don't want to mention his name. We had another wide receiver that finished the year with 3 TDs and it didn't really work out. And God forbid that happens this year. Oh my gosh, they're going to turn against Ricky Pearsall. So we're going to see. We just don't have those guys that we have that have proven they can run in this offense. Jauan Jennings has proven it. They gave him the X spot. They gave him the spot, the leading spot when Brandon Ayuk went down last year, and he turned up and turned out. Kylie says, I want the same energy directed to BA. Yes, this is where I am. This is what my show is about, because you knew that I was going to passive aggressively get to that statement. Like, because please make sure the energy is the same. Don't sit there and give Jauan Jennings no love because y'all love him. I don't want to hear that. This is a wide receiver planning, asking for a trade. Last time I checked, a lot of faithful fans hate when players request a trade, but they don't understand. I've been trying to tell you, this is part of what wide receivers have to do. Wide receivers for the Niners just aren't super coveted. Like look, the Niners, they're drafting wide receivers every year. Every year. They drafted 1 or 2 wide receivers. We drafted 2 this year. Did y'all forget we drafted Jordan Watkins in round 4 and Junior Bergen in round 7? And just because Junior Bergen was this highlight film on special teams, he's a wide receiver too. Don't forget that. All he needs is space and opportunity, and he probably can make plays. The next thing you know, the Niners might feel they have something there. I'm just saying, I want to see the same energy. I'm with my brother Callie on this one, bro. We're not going to get it. We get it. There's favoritism. People hate hate Brandon Ayuk for the way he went about his contract negotiations and the show that he put on. I think if Jauan Jennings doesn't put on a show, he'll be just fine with the fan base. But if he starts to put on a show, get ready. Corey, what's going on out there, man? Appreciate you. Love you too, bro. Boat says it's not about what Jennings wants, it's about what he's worth. And I agree. But I would say if he's requesting a trade, this is about what he wants from his perspective, if that makes any sense. I think from the Niners' perspective, they're going to look and try to dig into what he's worth. Can he be versatile? And is being lining up in the slot and playing outside, is that enough versatility for the San Francisco 49ers to pay him? I think that's going to be like the ultimate question. Oscar, what's going on, bro? He says, just pay the man. All right. And so it's going to come down to how much are they willing to pay? How much are the Niners willing to pay? Do they have the money? Yeah, they got bread. We know. We've seen this, right? Do they have the money? For sure. Can they pay Jauan Jennings? Absolutely. Will they pay Jauan Jennings? Probably. What will they pay Jauan Jennings? That is the question. That's the $1 million question. I don't know. I don't know. Is Jauan, and it comes down to what Jennings is looking for. Is he looking for security? Is he looking for like a longer term deal, like a 3-year deal, 3-year extension with some securities in there, a lot of guaranteed money, and has Jauan Jennings done enough to prove himself? Because all right, let me ask you this question, all right? And I apologize if I didn't get to some of the comments. I'm going to scroll up. This is what Super Chats are for, to where I'll pop them out there. But let me ask y'all this. Is Jauan Jennings proven to be a better – excuse me, wrong question. Has Jauan Jennings done more with the 49ers than Brandon Ayuk? I'm just asking. Has Jauan Jennings done more than Brandon Ayuk? Now we could pull up stats. You know what I'm saying? We could do all that. Shout out to Oscar. I said I was gonna get the members that I see up in here, the air horns. Red Jet Shell in the building as well. I don't know. I feel like that is going to be the question. Ty says, I heard they're going to pay. I love it. I love it a lot. Like I do. That is funny. Um so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. All right. So Oscar says we all knew Debo was a diva. BA flipped from humble to grumble. That's why he gets the hate. That's not worth it. That's not I don't think flipping from humble to grumble is worth hate, but hey, to each their own. I don't think turning into a diva is worth hate, but hey, each their own. And like I said, if Jauan Jennings is on his best behavior with the fan base, they won't flip on him. I don't know what he would do that would cause him to be flipped on, but I can tell you right now, if he removes 49ers content from his social media, is that going to cause the hate? If you know what I'm saying, like I don't know. I don't hate on players when they go through contract negotiations. I am very understanding that players got to do what players got to do to secure their bag. And if they don't do anything to defame or denounce the team, asking for a trade isn't denouncing, I don't want to be a 49er. I think people get that wrong. I think that's a big misconcept. They're asking for or requesting a trade if they can't work out something with the team that they really want to be with. So it's just a trade tactic, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. Or whatever. Boat says Amari Cooper can do what JJ does, but for less money. Boats, I don't want Amari Cooper nowhere near this team. He had more drops than Deebo Samuel last year, and I look. If y'all are pissed about drops, then be pissed about drops. Drops are drops. Doesn't matter who the player is. If you drop the ball more than you catch the ball, that's a problem. I'd rather not have Amari Cooper. Plus, that's one wide receiver that just can't find a way to stay healthy, and he's getting older. Now, I'm not saying that they won't go after him. I'm just saying I would stay far away from an Amari Cooper. And there's other guys, but I really think the Niners are going to go out there and get a guy that they feel, or not get a guy. I think they might feel like they have a stable of guys. I mean, Demarcus Robinson, we're going to see what his if he's suspended from the NFL, what that's going to be like when the season starts. We'll find out all of this news as it breaks, but we already know they got a plethora. They still have a plethora of wide receivers here, but is Jauan Jennings that dynamic to demand a high number? Jax Knox in the building. Air horns, another member of the channel. I say give $12 million this year, then let him test free. That's a lot of money, in my opinion. But it'd be a nice little bump in the pay raise. The question is will he be willing to do a 1-year deal with a pay raise, or is he looking for security? So that's why I said it comes down to what Jauan Jennings is looking for. Is he looking for security? Security meaning guaranteed money, more years on a deal, things like that. Now for the Niners, they can figure that out. They can work that out to where they are paying him $12 million a year. But is that enough for Jauan Jennings? Is that enough? Is that enough for him? Is his worth more than $12 million per season? And that's where it's going to get a little iffy and tricky. Now, we talked about Jauan Jennings. Hopefully he's going to be at training camp. He said he's going to be there. So just because he shows up does not mean, there's not going to be some ripples and things like that. And the waves, he may just be there and he hold in. So that means he'll show up because he's contractually obligated, but that doesn't mean he's going to practice. And that's going to be the issue. If he doesn't practice, you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't practice, how does that hinder the team? Because Brock Purdy clearly, when he has a rapport with the wide receiver, He likes that. Hey, look, Brandon Ayuk, they worked out. Boom. And then boom. You saw how that Brandon Ayuk took off that year before his contract season. Jauan Jennings last year. It just seemed like that was Brock's favorite target. You know what I mean? And so not having him, not having Brandon Ayuk, does this change things offensively for the San Francisco 49ers? And who will he have that rapport with if there is no Jauan Jennings? Now, Christy says, we have so many great players. It's hard because they spread the ball around so much. But JJ came in clutch last year. I agree with this 1,000%. Let's drop the bomb on that, right? He came in clutch. When his number was called, he came in clutch. We're talking about a player that literally had 6 touchdowns on the year and was 25 yards away from just being a 1,000-yard wide receiver. He's not as, spectacular when it comes to the yak game, but man, he made some spectacular catches out there on the football field. Again, he's more of a big catch target, big radius guy. What do I mean by that? I mean that Brock could just kind of throw the ball in his vicinity and he could come up with the catch. How many drops I said he had? Only 4 drops on the season, 4 drops on 70 receptions, 70 plus receptions. That's a win. That's huge. That's huge. All right, I asked the question about Brandon Ayuk. Ty says Ayuk has done way more. Yeah, this is where we're coming to. Like, this is where we're going. Like, if Ayuk did way more, his contract was way more. So, what type of deal or what type of extension, is it two? Okay. Does anybody remember the Dre Greenlaw extension? The 2-year extension. Now, we know that Jauan Jennings got his 2-year extension, but does anybody have the terms out there on the live show to where I don't have to look it up, leave the screen or anything like that? Does anybody have the Dre Greenlaw 2-year extension? I'm curious to know how much that was when he was extended. Was it more than the $7.5 million that he's getting this year? Was it in the $12, $13 million range? Because I kind of feel that's what the Niners are going to want to pay. I kind of feel that. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel that's what the Niners are going to want to pay. So it's interesting how this is happening right before camp is about to kick off, how it gets released right before camp is about to kick off. Shout out to all the members out there again, man. Appreciate you. Oscar says any player who releases statements either directly or via agent that they either get paid or get traded loses my 100%. Now, see, I respect everybody's take. One thing about me is I'm going to respect your take. I'm not going to agree with everybody's take, but I respect it. And if this is what you do, totally understand. Like, I get it. It's like I get it. And let me see if I can explain what you're saying to everybody out there that's watching. Oscar, let me know if I'm correct. Do you feel as if it becomes a selfish act to where it's deflecting away from the team? Because I get it. If that's what it is, I think I get it. Because we're talking about a team that went, 6 wins, 6-11. We were terrible. I don't care about injuries. I don't care about any of that. We were horrible. We couldn't finish games. Special teams was trash. Offensively, they were trash, especially in the red zone. I mean, we couldn't score. We couldn't even walk the ball in on the 1/8 inch of a yard line. Like, we would end up with a penalty. Then it would be 1st and 10, and then we get another penalty to be 1st and 20. And next thing you know, we missed a field goal. Like, that's how bad the team was collectively in scoring. And then defensively, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. Like, they plugged the middle, and they still couldn't stop the run. And I think I was so much more upset with the defense, not just they couldn't even tackle. I think I was more upset with the missed tackles last year. So from a defensive perspective, missed tackling was terrible. From an offensive perspective, they just could not cash in. And it was just a bad team last year. Like, everything was bad. So I get why fans want or are hoping for the players to just be all in. Like, team, let's get this team. Like, the mindset. And that's where it could be a distraction. 49ers underscore throwback. Wayne, I thought we were going to be drama-free this offseason. Now, that never came out of my mouth. I don't know what type of... I've been watching the 49ers for the past 8 years. Let's just say 8. Going into season 8, Kyle Shanahan season 8. For the past 8 years, there has been drama. I'm talking Mary J. Blige drama. It's like the opposite of no more drama. There has been drama. And it's all been around contract extensions. Now, if you go back to the before Shanahan era, right? Still drama. Okay? Go think about some of the coaches. Jim Tom Sula, drama. Mike Singletary, drama. Okay, different types of drama. I mean, what type of drama you want? And then you go back to like even the Jim Harbaugh. I mean, think of all the players that got arrested that term. We had players in and out of jail. We literally had the bad boys of the NFL, and they were all different. Like Ray McDonald, Bruce Miller, Alden Smith, and let me know if I'm missing out on anybody. But we literally had, look, it was bad. So it was always drama. Now, I don't remember drama from the 90s. I don't. Maybe because I didn't pay attention to the drama then, if there was drama. But I don't remember drama in the 90s. I just don't. But we have been a dramatized organization. You know what I'm saying? It's just been weird, bro. Like, it's been weird. It's been weird. I tell you what, though. We haven't had quarterback. We didn't have any quarterback drama. Now, just to show of hands, like, I'm just curious to know, like, how many saw this coming from Jauan Jennings? Like, and be honest. Like, I raised my hand. He's a wide receiver looking for an extension. I saw it coming. I didn't know when, but I did see it coming. And then if you did, and if you didn't, it's all good. But, I saw it coming. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, it's going to come down to what the hell is Jauan Jennings? Is he wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3? This guy's wide receiver 1. You can't tell me there's another wide receiver 1 on this team. Show me a wide receiver 1. Brandon Ayuk can't be wide receiver 1 if he nursing an injury, if he's unhealthy. You can't say Ricky Pearsall's wide receiver 1. Jacob Cowing, if Ricky Pearsall ain't wide receiver 1, then Jacob Cowing damn sure not wide receiver 1. I mean, wide receiver 1 literally is George Kittle. I mean, he's not a wide receiver, but he's receiver number 1. If we're talking about options. And if we're talking about Jauan Jennings, he's probably the third option. Because I still think Christian McCaffrey will be an option. I think George Kittle will be option 2, and then maybe Jauan Jennings will be option 3. But as far as the position, he's wide receiver 1. Eddie G and the B-Dogs in the freaking building. What's going on, Eddie? Eddie, he says, what up, Breezy? Pay that man. All right, man, look, I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000%. We got the bread. What's the problem? I mean, I'm not giving him $20+ million a year. Look, $17 million a year for Jauan Jennings. Who says no? $17 million a year, 3-year extension. Who the hell says no to that? What's wrong with that? It's a 3-year extension. That's a big pay raise from $7.5 to $17 million. It'll put that $7.5 back into the cap this year anyway. He won't get the bulk of that joint until probably 2 years from now anyway. I say $17 million a year, south of $20 million, and boom. Now, that's why I asked, what was that Dre Greenlaw contract? I know it's a different position, but what was that contract from Dre Greenlaw? I'm curious to know. Jack says, well, there goes my 17-0. Nah, that. Nah, don't say that. Nah, I disagree. Look, I am very adamant when it comes to the Niners offense this year. I really feel that they will be clicking. And the key to their offense isn't the offensive line, isn't Brock Purdy. It's literally being able to sustain drives with their run game. And I think when having Christian McCaffrey back, and I know it depends, everybody can say, oh, it depends on his health. Fine. That's fair. I feel like he's fully healthy, but it's fair to say that because we haven't seen him play a lick of football since the injury. So that is so fair. And I got to be fair when I hear those comments, but I just think that he's just fully back. Speaking of Christian McCaffrey, let's give him and his wife a round of applause on their newborn baby girl. Got baby CMC in the bit. She's going to play football. I can feel it. She's going to play football. Baby CMC is loading, and I'm excited for them. He's entering the season as a father, and now he's playing for another reason. Like, y'all could bet against Christian McCaffrey if y'all want to, but man, when you're no longer playing for yourself and you got another thing of motivation to play for, whoo, that brother about to cash in, dog. That brother about to cash in. So, Jax, hold on to your 17-0. Don't denounce that. If that's how you feel about your team, stick with that. 17-0 sounds like the way that this team is preparing. They're going to take it one game at a time, but they're preparing for something like that. Peachy says, become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew, man. All you got to do is click on the link inside the live chat, see, and you click on it, and it takes you right to the membership. You could join, become a member, and then I'll be posting and responding to your chats first and foremost. Shout out to the moderators, too. All right, so Niner Faithful, speaking of moderator, one of my favorite moderators out there, along with Throwback and Peachy and all the other moderators, Jack. Look, that third down conversion JJ did versus Seattle, though, that showed the dog. Listen, he puts the D in the word dog. Now, here's what I like about dogs, especially when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like they have a variety of breeds. And there's something about, just a variety. And there's something about the dog that I like about Jauan Jennings. Now, you might like that moment as him being the dog. And I love that moment. Thank you for bringing that up, Niner Faithful. Appreciate you. But let me tell you about the moment where I said, this dude's no longer going to be a 49er. Because I knew from this action that he just kind of, what's the word? Outgrew his pay grade. Go back to the last game of the season in a game that did not mean anything against the Arizona Cardinals other than saying that we didn't get swept by the Cardinals. Go back to that game. Go back to when he blocked out. You know what I'm saying? I mean blocked all the way down to the ground. I mean, and to where he got ejected from the game. I don't know how I don't find a way to bring that and keep that, on this roster. Now, if I'm the organization, I would love to keep it at that $7.5 million per year, what he's getting this year, and then, figure out another way next year or whatever if they look for the extension. But I knew at that moment that there was a different type of dog in him, and he did it smiling twice. That's when I realized this team needs a Jauan Jennings. And we're focusing on Jauan Jennings from a receiver standpoint because that's technically what's going to get him paid. You know what I'm saying? That's technically going to get him paid. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about run blocking because we want to run the damn ball. Like, who wants to run the ball more? I'm talking 30-plus times a game. Me. Well, we need those types of run-blocking dogs on this roster. That's why we're missing Brandon Ayuk. Having Brandon Ayuk and Jauan Jennings as your receivers in the run-blocking game, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. You had two of the best blocking wide receivers in the NFL. Will Ricky Pearsall, Will Jacob Cowing, Will Jordan Watkins, Will DeMarcus Robinson, will some of the other vets that we signed, will those guys be able to run block? No, not like that. At least I haven't seen it. I ain't seen it. Tell me, have you seen it? I haven't seen it. So losing that hurts the run game. So I think there's value for having Jauan Jennings here. I don't know how much more the Niners are willing to pay for it, But I think they are. I really feel like the Niners are going to want to keep him here. The question is, what's going to be the Jesse J price tag? That's going to be the question. All right, let's get to some more of these chats. Oscar says, JJ and BA are pushing Purdy's attention to Kittle and Pearsall. If I'm a QB, I build a rapport with players that are present and available. This is the way you got to go. This is the only way to go. You can't worry about who's not here. You focus on who's here. You build the rapport. You work on timing routes. I would say Purdy and Kittle's timing is pretty damn spot on. And now we just need to see more from, you know what I'm saying? We need to see more from, you know, Pearsall and some of the other guys. Like we need to see a little bit more. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? So Greenlaw's extension was 2 years, $19 million. All right. So I believe he got that during the last. Okay, give me Greenlaw's, and that's Greenlaw's extension, right? 2 years, $19 million. Somebody get me, and $10 million was guaranteed. I think that's what we're talking about. Tell me what Diamador Lenoir's extension is. I'm curious. What was Diamador Lenoir's extension? And we talk about another player that got extended during the season before the contract extension. Didn't have to hold out. Didn't have to do any of that. Didn't threaten it. Didn't demand. You know what I'm saying? Crest the trade or anything like that. But I want to know, because 2 years, $19 million for your linebacker 2. Thought that's a pretty good deal. We're talking technically, Jauan Jennings is wide receiver 2. So 2 years, $19 million, and you figure that's what? It's a little bit more. So it'd be what, $1.5 million more. Let's just say this was the contract for Jauan Jennings. The extension is probably what the Niners want to do. I don't know if this is what Jauan Jennings want to do, but let's just say that they do something like this, and now you get, what's that, $9 something plus million? So that's a little bit more than that $7.5 million. Is that enough? Is that enough for your wide receiver 2? I guess you got to kind of go. We kind of got to do a breakdown on like wide receiver 2s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of where we got to look at it in the situation. Like, go through different teams. Look at what the second, because T. Higgins, who we all say is, we got T. Higgins here. Remember, we didn't want to go after T. Higgins. We got Jauan Jennings. He got paid. You know what I mean? So it's going to be it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Peachy. Every year is a drama. I'm telling you, like, this is what the Niners do. This is who we are. You know what I mean? This is who we are. I love the R&B references from Oscar in the chat. $15 million. So what was somebody, I'm scrolling currently. All right. So Greenlaw, $9.5 million, average, 18. Okay. I'm still current. I want to know what Demo. Oh, that's a big ass extension. God dang. Now see. So then, okay, so this is a different. I'm just curious. I didn't know it was a 5-year extension. And the Niners currently said that. So with the Niners doing something like this, they have currently made Demo cornerback 1. They were moving on. They were going to develop the younger players. He was going to be their man moving forward, cornerback 1. That's why I asked the question, has Jauan Jennings done more than Brandon Ayuk? Because the Niners already made him wide receiver 1. They're paying him the wide receiver 1 money, and now he's recovering from the knee injuries, right? I just don't see the Niners paying another wide receiver like that, especially after getting out of the Deebo Samuel contract. This is going to be interesting freaking man. I'm telling you, this is not going to be easy peasy. What's going on, Havis Williams? And I saw a comment from Facebook and I missed it, and I got to go back to it because we got some Facebook watchers. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's watching live on X and Twitch, man. We still streaming live on Twitch. All right, so is JJ good enough to miss training? You know what, Havis Williams? I'm going to answer your question. I know you're not a member, but if you want to become a member, all you got to do is click on the link inside this chat. No. Nobody is good enough to miss training camp. Can I actually say, and here's why I'm saying that. If I told you that I thought that Trent Williams is the best player on this team, some people may agree with me, some people may disagree. But I think Trent Williams is the best player on this team. Hands down, best player on this team. And when he's healthy and he's playing, he's probably a top 10 5 player in the NFL. Hands down, right? That dude missed training camp and he was terrible. Terrible. I don't think anybody is good enough to miss training camp. I don't even think the coaches are good enough to miss training camp. That's just my theory, my thought processing on all of that, because it's tough. You know what I'm saying? You miss training camp, bro, and you are just behind the physical game. You're behind the rapport game. You know, Oscar in the chat, man, give him a follow, man. He knows a lot about football. He said, listen, you got to be in rapport with the guys that you have, because Kyle Shanahan's offense, every player offensively, that offense is all about timing. It's clockwork. You got to go back to pull up a grandfather clock, look at all the mechanisms in the clock if you don't want to get a old watch, and all of those little gears got to move at the same time and do their job. That's how complicated Kyle Shanahan's offense is. But when it works, explosive. I wish I had the music. That's how explosive that offense is. You get what I'm saying? It is. We've seen it. And we're not even talking about like plays being made off timing. We're talking about the 3-step drop back, the play action pass, because the run had worked a couple of previous plays. Brock throws a pretty pass down the football field, down the seam. You get a Jauan Jennings, you get a George Kittle, you get when the offensive line is blocking, it's rhythm based. It's rhythm. It's rhythm. It's all about the freaking rhythm. And if that rhythm is slightly off, if there's a player with a slight injury and is causing the timing to be off, good luck. And that is why I say that there's not one player that can miss training camp and be good to go. Not even Brock Purdy. Shout out to Peachy Brown. Super chat contribution. So I truly appreciate the support. Lynch always says, it's hard to let go of good players. I don't think JJ is going anywhere at all. I wish we had just went after another vet wide receiver. I agree. I don't think he's going anywhere. But I gotta give you the but, because the but is always this. And I'm not talking doing the but. Here's the but. You ready? Shout out to Brian Cope in the building, man. It's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you here, man. Appreciate you. Here's the but, though. If a team makes the 49ers an offer that they can't refuse. Now, Debo went for a 5th round pick. Debo went for a 5th round pick. Jauan Jennings had a better season than Debo Samuel, so I would say they start from, that's the lowest that the Niners will take. But I think they're going to be looking for a 4th, and if you flip a 4th round pick, y'all got to look at it from a different perspective. If you can flip a 7th, to a 4th, if you can flip a 7th that you cut into a 4th, yeah, Yeah. I just think that's one of them offers you can't refuse. I don't like it though. I don't like it. I fell in love with Jauan Jennings. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I did. Like I don't like it. But Peachy, thank you for the super chat contribution. I do agree with that. But they did let Debo Samuel go, and he was a great player at one point. That was hard to find, and did his due diligence with the Niners when he was healthy, and you know, it's just weird. It's just weird. It's just super weird. Um, it's just super weird. But at the end of the day, I don't think the Niners. I think they pay Jennings. I just don't think we're. Don't look at a super. Shout out to my brother Jerry. Don't look at a super duper wide receiver deal. That's why. That's why if I'm Jennings, is the $7.5 million guaranteed this year? I know that's not a lot, but it's a lot of money. I know that's a lot of money. Let me stop. No, it's not a lot. That's a lot of money. But I don't know, man. I feel like he wants to be a Niner, and that's why he's doing this. And he's following in the footsteps as the other Niner wide receivers because he knows that the Niners just don't prioritize wide receivers. And we know for a fact. Look at all the new wide receivers the Niners have. And most of them are drafted. I'll leave it at that. Jerry, Breezy, is it too late for a prove it deal? Are the Niners in a bad negotiation point with JJ? And this question. I had to highlight this question from my brother Jerry because this is the issue. Because the Niners probably feel like they gave him a prove it deal. And I think that the Niners were hoping that JJ would honor that deal, but I don't give a I could care less. JJ outplayed that contract last year. I mean, between him and George Kittle, they were the offense. And whenever 15 was called, just take it from this, right? We went from third and Jauan to throw the ball to Jauan on every down. First, second, third, right? Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. I see a if it'll work right now. Niner Faithful, is Jennings better than Demarcus Robinson for the Niners? Hell yeah. I'm not going to sit there and say no. I don't know what Demarcus Robinson is going to do in this offense. So I know exactly what Jauan Jennings is going to do in this offense. Now, Jauan Jennings. I have to say I agree. He gets a lot of single coverage, and in man-to-man coverage, he's winning. Why do you think Brock likes to throw? Brock is looking for man-to-man coverage on every single play, and if he can get his receiver in that ball is going to Jauan Jennings. I'm telling you, I love it. Corey, I disagree. When a player's under contract, you must be paid right away. Hey, look, these players are going to do what they do. Throwback says, I would like a third round pick. Like I'm telling you, if it's a fourth or higher, fourth round pick or higher, I think Jauan Jennings is as good as gone. I think the Niners that's an ultimate flip. Yeah, a 7 to a fourth or a third. That's the ultimate flip. It's an ultimate flip. And going back to my brother Oscar, man. Hey, bro, I'm with you, man. If Pearsall is here, see, here's my issue with Pearsall. Is he healthy? I get nervous when it comes to these wide receivers, man. I get totally nervous when it comes to these wide receivers, man. It's something about health and all that type of stuff, man. I get nervous. I'm sorry. Don't mind me. I get nervous. Lake City, what's going on, baby? I get nervous. Lake says he wants a Jerry Judy or Cooper Cup 13 to 15. I said that. I said that 17 million a year. Maybe I think I think what those players do, He might not be as equipped with the speed, the shiftiness. 13 to 17 million a year. I'm gonna stretch that range in that pocket. That's where I am with it, Lake. I'm sorry. I just feel like he is. I don't know if the Niners want to pay that, but I feel like it frees up on you guys because I thought I was. It does say connection is unstable. Interesting. I think it's something with the whatever I'm using. Anyway, it is what it is. But nah, man, look, I just feel like, if they do the all right, Callie says, what do you think about Watkins? Is Watkins legit? I do. I do think Watkins is gonna be legit. This is I do think he's gonna be legit. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see how he's utilized. I'll leave it at that. We'll see how he's utilized. You know what I'm saying? It's weird because I think Watkins, if he's used right, he's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? I'm currently not downloading anything. I don't have anything on. And my internet is actually streaming very well. I think it's something to do with StreamYard, honestly. I don't know what they have to do with it, but I just do. So I do apologize for the technical difficulties. But look, I think Jauan Jennings is going to be here. I'll leave it at that. I'm not necessarily worried at the situation, but if there is drama, faithful, let's focus on the people that are in camp, practicing, and ready to go. At least that's my goal, to get us to focus on that, because the rookies are here. And you're going to get an opportunity to see Jordan Watkins. You're going to get an opportunity to see Junior Bergen. You're going to get an opportunity to see these guys get into camp. They already had their installs. We're going to see where they are this upcoming week. And then when the vets get there, we'll see the development and how well the rookies get in and out of the plays and compared to the vets. And, we got to trim 90 men down to 53. That's where it gets crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got to trim it down to 53. And don't forget about the undrafted kids. You got Isaiah Nair. I want to see what Tariq Owens does. Like, the Niners got a bunch of players that I feel like could contribute. The question is, will they be good enough to contribute? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Quick question from Tanisha. Have all of our rookies signed their deals? Excellent question. Because this show is technically going to be about, will Alfred Collins be in training camp? Will he sign his deal before the rookies report to camp? That's what it was going to be. And then Jauan Jennings said, bump that. So, no. To answer your question, no. Not all of our rookies. We're still waiting on our second round draft pick. That's a great question, Tanisha, because on yesterday, second round draft pick, wide receiver for the Houston Texans, they guaranteed him all of his money and his deal. One of the wide receivers that I wanted in the draft, right? And so I don't think any of these second round draft picks are going to necessarily, and don't forget, like, he wasn't a top second round pick because Houston didn't pick in the top 10. So I will say this, it's going to get interesting. And so we might not see Alfred Collins during training camp. So will he sign that? I don't know. I think that these second round picks are definitely looking for their guaranteed money. Okay? And if a wide receiver, what was his name? Is it Higgins? They drafted both of them. They drafted both of the Iowa State wide receivers. So Jaden Higgins, if I'm not mistaken, I believe, it's going to come down to fully guaranteed contracts for these second round picks. So because the Texans and D'Amico Ryan, shout out to D'Amico Ryans because he said, bump it, we're just going to do it. We'll see what happens. All right. Guys, appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And don't forget, man, if you're new to this channel, make sure your alerts are, you subscribe to it. Make sure your alerts are set to all and on. Got a bunch of shows planned. Nitty Gritty Niners will be back. The BAM show will be back. We got the What's Your Fantasy Football show. If you're into fantasy football, that's going to be coming as well. So you don't want to miss out on those shows, all right? So make sure you get it locked in right here on the Wayne Breezy channel. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Keep it faithful to the Bay. We out. Peace. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.